Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to finish up work on the Athearn Blue Box SD9 for the Milwaukee Road. We have the shell, the chassis, a decoder. This is a Digitrax DH127D, so that means it has a harness with loose wires to make it easy to wire in, and a TCS 4-pin mini plug to connect the chassis to the shell. The decoder will be mounted in the shell to the roof of the shell, so this will allow it to be separated for maintenance. First thing we're going to do will be to wire the chassis. So the pickup wires, the power pickups from the wheels, need to be wired to the black and red pins on the plug, which will correspond to the black and red pins on the decoder. Wires on the decoder. So the first step is to wire the black cable, which is the engineer's side or right-hand side, and then the red wire will get mounted to the fireman's side pickups, which are on the tops of the truck. You can see I've got the wire stripped at both ends and a section stripped in the middle. That'll be to connect the harness wire to it. And then I'll shrink wrap that connection to insulate it. So I've already got the black wire connected to the bracket that mounted the light. This is an easy way to do that. You can also drill and tap a hole and mount a screw into the chassis, but I find this a lot simpler and easier. But it can get a little tricky soldering this on. One thing you want to be careful with is that you make a good solid mechanical connection with the wire around that pin so that it's solid. Then the solder serves more as a conductive glue to hold everything in place, keep it from moving and coming loose. I'm using a rosin core solder. You never want to use anything with an acid flux in it to solder. I don't use extra solder or extra flux when I'm soldering. I make sure my parts are clean beforehand, and there is, generally speaking, enough flux in the core of the solder to get you a good solid connection. So with the black wire connected to the plug, we can now connect the jumper wire between the two trucks, and that's just soldered to those top pads. I like to give it a twist first. As I do the rear truck, I want to make sure I get the shrink wrap on the wire first, because that makes it a lot easier and you don't have to redo things. I've done that many a time, so hopefully you don't make my mistake. And then just get the soldering iron on, heating up the element, both parts, the wire and the pickup pad, and then flow the solder onto the joint. Make sure everything sits smoothly. Once you remove the soldering iron, you don't want that wire to move, because that will create a cold solder joint that will not be conductive. With that connected, we can set the figure out the length we need on the red wire. I always cut them a little bit long, but I don't have a whole lot of room here. I don't want to keep it short enough that I don't have to worry about the wiring getting in the way of the gears or the drive shafts. So with the wire cut and stripped, get the heat shrink tubing on in the spot I need it so I can slide it over the joint, and then just wrap the wire from the plug around the contact wire. Once that's in place, just bring in the soldering iron and the solder. And flow the solder onto the joint. By the way, if you'd like me to do a full tutorial on soldering for model railroading, please let me know in the comments below. I would be more than happy to do a video on that. Once the solder joint has cooled sufficiently, I just slide the heat shrink tubing over the joint and melt it. There's a number of ways to do it. I like using a lighter. It's quick and easy. The one thing you want to be careful with is you want to make sure you get the heat shrink tubing into the base near the blue part of the flame and not up at the top where it's the yellow. The blue is hotter and it will melt it quicker, and it will get you a good melt without leaving any char on the heat shrink tubing, whereas if you use the yellow part of the flame, it will char and leave black scorch marks on it. This is especially important if you're also putting a label on that heat shrink tubing. And that's one of the things you can do, is you can label that heat shrink tubing before you put it on by writing a note as to what your label information on the white heat shrink tubing. Works well with white and yellow. I've even done it with blue and red. Not so much with black heat shrink tubing. But then when you shrink it, it's still visible, and you have a label attached to permanently attached to your wire. Okay, now we're going to work on the orange and gray wires that connect to the pickup contacts for the motor. These are where the feed from the decoder will feed into the motor. Now the Kato motors actually have a little bit of crimp wings on there so that you can crimp the wire in place to hold it while you solder. Again, we'll bring the soldering iron in, heat everything up, and then let the solder flow into the joint. Once that's done, the heat shrink tubing can be slid over the joint and melted in place. And then we'll do the same thing for the other connection for the top contact. Okay, once the contacts are in, I attach the plug. I just taped everything down, leaving the plug loose. I used a piece of Kapton tape, which is an insulated tape, to do that. Now we're going to go to wiring the LEDs and into the decoder. So we have the other end of the plug. We have some 1K ohm resistors. We're going to need one of them to do the lighting, wiring. I like to store them in a plastic bag with the label on them as to what they are. That way I don't have to try and read the bands on the resistors each time I go to use them. And then we have the harness for the decoder. I always get my soldering done before I attach the decoder to the harness, and that's just because I want to make sure it's in the way. We will not need the purple and green wires on this project. The decoder is a 2-function decoder, so the only function wires that are going to be operational we'll use on this one are the white and yellow. So I wired in the blue wire to the positive leads on this LEDs. I included the resistor is in the feed between the two. So I have the positive feeds, the positive wires from both resistors into one leg of the resistor, and then the blue wire from the other end is connect to the plug. The negative leads are connected to the white wire in the front, the yellow wire in the rear, and then I just kind of test fit to see where everything's going to go. Once I'm happy with that, I can start wiring the plug to the other end of the plug to the 4 remaining wires, black, red, gray, and orange. And it's simply a matter of using the plug and red to red, orange to orange, gray to gray, black to black. And then we can plug the decoder into its 8-pin plug, the JST plug. Little piece of double-sided foam tape attached to the bottom side of the decoder, the flat side, and then it can be attached to the roof. I'm doing this the roof of the long hood, so it'll be above the rear truck. Then just fold everything down and in, and use another piece of cap-down tape to hold the wires in place in the shell. This way they don't get in the way, again, of the drive shaft of the motor. We can then take the plug it in, make sure it's oriented the correct way, plug it in, and then fold those wires up and into the shell and place the shell back on the locomotive. With that done, we can add couplers, and this locomotive is ready to go to the programming track to be programmed and put into operations. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, and please leave a comment. I take criticism very well, so if you have some suggestions on how to improve the quality of my videos, by all means leave that in the comments. I do read your comments, so please watch for them. I hope you've enjoyed this. Next project up on the bench is a caboose for this. Thank you for watching and have a great day.